Actually, though, I was gonna do one of those videos where you do like questions, but no, I'm too lazy, so I just figured I'd just do this. This is a question video. This is Road to 300 Day. Road to 300 question video. First question. Somebody wants to ask me about a recording question. Okay, Young Marley wants to know, do you yell in the mic and turn the interface down, or do you talk with swag when recording in the mic but have the interface turned up? Do both. I just compress my vocals a lot, so it comes out like, even if I holler, it'll sound like the same exact volume, because in my mixing and mastering process, I compress it, or I do a whole bunch of stuff. I change the levels at different areas, so it's all the same volume. So it's a long process, but it works in the long run. So question 2, Young Menace, my boy Young Menace with MDRG says, when is the mixtape and the album dropping, and why don't you FWM no more? uh, well, the mixtape, you really want a date? Okay, I'll give you a date. About 16th. Is that cool? Cause it's the third, so I could probably do it by the 16th or 5th, somewhere in the teens. The album won't be dropping until probably summer, sometime, probably, most likely. But it'll be dope. It'll be worth the wait. I promise. We just don't ever chop it up no more. So won't you FW with me no more? Anyways, to kill the awkwardness, I'm gonna go to the next question. I got two questions for my boy JPEGs. Top 5 greatest rappers of all time. That's the first question. Okay. In a specific order, I would have to say. I mean, it's Pegs already knows what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say me number one because I have extremely cocky behavior. Because best, and I'm not doing anything with my music. But I'm for real about that, but I'm not for real about that because I don't consider myself the best. I just consider myself, in the progress. But my favorite best rappers, my first favorite rapper of all time, like ever since I started listening to rap, somewhere across between 50 Cent and Eminem. So I'm gonna give 50 Cent and Eminem one. That's my number one. Number two, I started listening to who else did I listen to? Tech Nine was one of my favorites. I liked Tech Nine a lot. I grew up listening to Tech Nine. Um, so that's number two. Tech Nine is my number two. Number three, man, my number three has got to be, yeah, MC Araya. He's dope. I've actually got a song with him on his mixtape, State of Medicines, and it wasn't my best verse because I hadn't been in the studio in a while, and I got it. I'm that sound like I'm just making excuses, but I'm like legit. He mixed and mastered the song for me, so I didn't get to add my own effects or anything. So I was kind of sketchy about how to put it out because he was doing what he thought sounded best, and I had no idea what that was. So I just kind of went with the flow and did my best with what I had. But he'll be on my album, I hope. Shout out to MC Raya. So that's number three. Number three is MC Raya. Um, Number four, man, who is number four? I don't know. I don't really put rappers in a category like that. I like Yellow Wolf. So I'll just give him four just to save the time. Um, and Machine Gun Kelly. Machine Gun Kelly's definitely not my number five. I don't know where he is. He's somewhere in the top five though, but he's definitely not my least favorite out of the five. So there you go, picks. That was the hardest question I've ever answered in my entire life. Um, am I ready for the onslaught of tracks that I'm gonna send you when you get back in the studio? I am very ready for the onslaught of tracks that you're gonna send me when I get back in the studio because I'm very ready to get back in the studio and I'm very ready to get more music out there and I'm very ready to get my freaking life back together because music helped me with my life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm ready. Um, my friend Kelly wants to know, have I ever tried to do any other kinds of music? I guess that means genres of music. And when did I realize that I wanted to do music? Um, I think when I was little, I wanted to be in a rock band because my favorite rock band was Nickelback, and I could sing like every Nickelback song. And I just wanted to be a rock star. I never like went for it, but I did get an electric guitar, and I never learned how to play it. I could play it a little bit. I mean, I could play the beginning of One by Metallica because my dad taught me, and I can fool around and come up with some good stuff. I can play piano decent, but anyways, not really. Um, Rap is kind of the only music that I ever pushed for, you know. I realized I wanted to do music when it was about 8 years ago, so I was about 9 when I realized that this is what I wanted to do. I forget why. I mean, everybody, there's a lot of comments from people at my school saying that it's because of 8 Mile, because I'm a white rapper, and they think that 8 Mile made me want to rap. That's not true at all. 8 Mile was not the birth of my rap at all whatsoever. I saw that movie actually after I rapped, for the first time after I started rapping. But I don't know. I mean, a couple movies influenced it, but not really. More of the thought of I figured my mom did poetry. She wrote poetry. She still writes poetry to this day. And I don't know. I wrote a rap one day, and I just kind of stuck with it. Like I just kind of figured I like this, like I might be good at this one day. So I know that's a corny way to answer it, but I can't really think of why or when I wanted to. When I realized I wanted to do it, it just kind of clicked. Like it just kind of came to me, and I wanted to do it. And to this day, I'm still pushing for it. So there goes another one of the hardest questions I've ever answered in my whole life. Can I play any instruments? Like I said, I can play piano decent. But my cousin Chase can play piano nowhere near that. I can't play like you a Beethoven. He can, but I can't. And he's 10 or 11, 10 or 11. I don't know. Not I can't really play any instruments. I mean, I try to make beats sometimes, but I'm not very good at it. Um, Vocals. Does that count as an instrument? I hope so. That's just about it. Is vocals. No, I can't really play any instruments. Not really. I've tried, but I haven't been successful. So next question. My girlfriend asked me, hang on, have I ever wanted to do a duet with her? Yes, you know this. Don't ask silly questions. What really made you who you are? Music made me who I am. The way I grew up in a house of women. I grew up in a house full of it was my grandma, I think two of my aunts, and my mom was around, but she was working and things. So I lived with my grandparents for a while. Parents never got married, so I never lived with my mom and my dad at the same time. But kind of grew up in a family full of women. It just kind of made me. I guess I'm a little bit more emotional than a lot of guys are, because I grew up in a house full of females. Sorry, but they are. But they kind of made me who I am. Growing up in that. that kind of made me who I am. Just growing up in that environment I did. I grew up in the boondocks, and then I grew up in Memphis. So I just kind of got the best of both worlds. I have the ghetto side, and then I have the boondock side, and that's kind of where it kind of person, you know. What is my outlook on life? Outlook on life. I don't really know what that question means. I guess live to the fullest and talk to a lot of people about dreams, right? Grandpa, a lot of people, and they all say that they figured out they can't do it, they couldn't do it, so they just gave up and they moved on to something that was more important. My look on life is that I will not do that. I don't want to be. I don't. When I have my kids, I want to tell them that I did it. I don't want to say that I tried. I want to say I done what I set out for. You know, it was hard and it was a long, painful, full of tear road, but I made it and I did it, and that's what to spread that. That's what I'm about. I'm not about giving up. You know, I say that I'm giving up on God, and everybody else that listens to me or that knows me personally knows that that's not going to happen. Next question. Um, my boy Millie Mays. How would I feel about after? How would you? How would you feel about after me, you, and JPEGs drop our collab mixtape? Would I be up for a double mixtape with you? Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't have a problem. I'll feature with anybody. Or I don't do any of that. A lot of people ask me that all the time. Why do people charge? I don't see why you would charge for something. I'm not gonna sell the song. I don't sell my mixtapes or my albums. Um, how people charge anyways. Um, yeah, I'm down, bro. I'm down. Just hit me up whenever you wanna, send me something and I'll. Hop. Um, last question is from Biggs asking me when do I want to drop the FBI mixtape that me, Ty Graves. I'm surprised Ty Graves didn't ask a question, but he's probably doing. When do I want to drop the FBI mixtape that you were talking about putting out either late May or early June? What are my thoughts? Um, I'm gonna take that as what are my thoughts on the mixtape first. My thoughts on the mixtape is that so far it is dope and it's evolutionary because it kind of shows the very beginning to now. You know, it shows the beginning of when JPEGs and Ty met on the radio show one night, all the way to now, and we're all, all three of us are collaborating artists. I think you can put it out. We can put it out late May or early June. I think that's great. We can get it done by then if we hustle. That's the question. So watching this 300.